Alright, so how to train Jiu Jitsu based on your body type. This video is going to be on the short and stocky body type. Alright, so I'm back. I missed like a week or so. We had a kids Jiu Jitsu summer camp at my academy all week. Very time consuming and energy. Lots of energy to do that. So YouTube was put on the back burner for a few days there. And then I would have had a video up yesterday, but I bought a new camera upgrade to make the YouTube better, and there's a fucking slow and quick button. Didn't know what this was, anything about it, right next to the record button. And at some point yesterday, right before I started recording, I hit that button, so the whole video ended up being in super slow motion with no sound. Apparently there's a way to fix that, but it's like editing stuff. It's above my head, so I figure I'll just re-record. This is going to be the easier path. But anyways, I'm back. Back to breaking down the body types. And so my name is Gil Alcocer. I started training Jiu Jitsu back in 2008. I opened my own academy, the Jiu Jitsu Institute, which is where I'm at right now, back in 2018, and I received my black belt from the Mendez brothers back in 2019. Alright, so like I already said, short and stocky. So short and stocky. Short it's subjective. It's going to be based more on your weight class. So if you're 5'4" and you're a rooster weight, that's probably not very short. But if you're 5'4" and you're super heavyweight, you're probably substantially shorter than the average super heavyweight. So that's what I mean. Short based on your peers who you're going against. And then being so short and you're in weight classes, so you have to make up that weight in another way. So thickness, they're going to be short and stocky. Thicker, short, thick, stocky guys. So usually these guys are like little balls of muscle. They're short-limbed, and typically they're going to be like explosive athletes. So like I've talked about many times now, I think everyone should start the same way. Start off slow. Your goal is not to win. Your goal is to learn, get a core understanding of the basic fundamentals of Jiu Jitsu. Make it past the beginning period where it feels like you're destroying your body. Let your body acclimate a little bit slower instead of jumping in 100%. This is for the average person, obviously. If you're some already super elite young athlete, like whatever, jump in head first, full force into it. But still, what you should be working on isn't the winning part. You should still be working on like understanding jiu-jitsu, the core, the basic fundamentals, a little more in the defense, all the basic positions, things like that. So after like you hit about that 6 to 9 month time frame, you should have a pretty good grasp, be getting close to your blue belt, grasp of like all the basic fundamentals. And then you're obviously going to want to start, well, not obviously, but most people are going to want to start to get competitive. Everyone's going to want to win, and this is when maybe you can play more to your attributes or your body type. And so for the short and stocky type, so this is gonna be the most like this group, this body type are gonna be the most likely group to do like the speedy, fast, speed passing, explosive movements, jumping around side to side, that type of game, which I generally speaking, not against it. It's just most people aren't built for that. But this is gonna be probably the one rare body type that is built more for this, where I would be more likely to lead to that type of game plan, a speedier, faster, side to side, very dynamic, push the cardio type of game. So what kind of game do they like? So short, stocky guys, they definitely are going to prefer the top. The shorter legs just makes the guards tougher, especially when we're like closed guard. It's basically a no-go for these guys. They can't, even if they manage to squeeze everything, pull their partner in just right, and just barely get their legs locked to create a closed guard, then it was very hard to get to the closed guard, and they're trying very hard to hold on to the closed guard, so it's pretty easy to break it open, and then you just wasted a lot of energy and effort trying to get to the closed guard. It's just not a good position for a shorter person. And then with that, they're just going to prefer more likely to be on top. Just being shorter, all the guards are going to be a little tougher. It doesn't play well to their attributes. They're going to typically want to be on top more. So being short and stocky and explosive, like I was saying, they're going to be more into the speed passing and stuff like that. So some of the issues that the average person is going to have with the speed passing are not as big of an issue for this body type. So when they pass fast and explosive, they're just shorter and, like I said, typically more explosive, more athletic. So it's easier for them to move around like that than like grabbing a hold of somebody and just putting the pressure on with shorter limbs. On top of that, if they do jump in their speed passing and they're on like their 4th, 5th attempt on the combo of guard passing, and then I've spoken about it in the past, sometimes you can like get tripped up, fall, mistake, whatever happens, and you fall into a submission like a triangle or an arm bar, things like that. It's because of the same reasons. They're shorter limbs, they're explosive, they're fast. It's not as dangerous for them. They can rip out of submissions a little bit easier. If the arm is just 4 inches shorter, they're that much closer to getting their elbow out from in between the legs and the fulcrum of where you're going to break. So they just need to move a little bit, 1 inch maybe versus 3 or 4 inches for the other person. So it's a lower risk for them. It's a high reward for everybody, but lower risk for this body type. So it makes sense that they're going to want to go for this type of stuff. And then again, when they're passing, so let's say they jump past and they got past your guard, but you still have a lot of energy left. Well, that can be a problem for a normal person, but this body type, when you do go to recover, because they're fast and explosive, shorter limbs, it's harder to get a hold of them. They're gonna bounce to the other side or change the position so that whatever defense you're trying is gonna be shut down. And not that everyone can't do that, but it's just easier for this body type. Just the shorter limbs are harder to get a hold of. So they're gonna be good, they're gonna be better than average at these type of scenarios and moving and shifting and changing and making it harder to recover if they did get that quick guard pass. Where someone longer like me, if I explode past, there's a lot of length on me, and I'm not even like long, I'm more average, but there's still a lot more length on me to someone to get a hold of and start to recover. So as far as submissions go, this body type, I think no arm in type of chokes are good for them. So if you think about me with like longer arms or like a long lanky guy, like when you lock up a rear naked choke, there's just more space. It's a bigger area because the arms are longer. So you can sneak your hands and start defending. But when a short guy does it, there's less space. Everything's super tight. It's gonna be harder to pry. And also being shorter, like these fractions of a second of finishing the wrap and then putting the other hand in, all that stuff is like teeny tiny bits faster all the way around. So it's locked in and it's good. No arm in obviously is going to be better, like a rear naked choke, because arm in, like a guillotine arm in or a darce, that's going to be harder because they have the shorter arms. But a no arm guillotine, again, same exact thing, they'll be quick with that. And then stuff like Kimuras, they tend to be good at Kimuras because, again, fast, explosive, strong. It's not that they're ripping Kimuras because they're stronger. It's that they just notice it, grab it, and then once you get it going, before they have a chance to grab onto something, the muscle part's gone. It's just extended, and they're weak now, and it's easy to finish them with something like a Kimura. So when they do end up on guard, goal is going to be to sweep and get on top. So coming up with a couple of, like, hurry up, get to the guard you prefer, and have 1 or 2 very good sweeps that are very hard to stop, more like wrestle up style. Just get to the top, and then they're free to get back to where they're going to be strong. Like I said, close guard, no go for them. De La Riva can be solid for them, not so much for attacking, but it's just a good defensive guard to be safe in. And then, so like I love Berimbolo game. Going to the outside, like traditional Berimbolos, probably not going to be their main game, but going to the inside in between the legs, like a Kiss of the Dragon style, which is actually, I prefer less. I don't like that. Even though I love the Berimbolo game, it's harder for me, and I believe that's because I'm longer. It's just harder to fit in there and get where I want to be. But them being shorter, I think it's like a great area for them to dive into if they are playing De La Riva. They just go in between the legs and get to the back, or come up and the guy turns around, but he's in guard now, and the short, stocky guy's on top. Perfect for them. Surprisingly, you might not expect this, but Spider Guard's pretty good for this body type. I think if you look into like Alec Baldwin, he's an Alliance black belt. He was really good at like the Spider Guard. I think it has to do with like legs being longer than arms. They have short arms, so they use their legs, and it gives them a little more length to use the Spider Guard. I've seen that, even though it's like more of a longer guy type of game. I've seen them do well with that. So yeah, that's bottom, top, in the middle submissions. I think this is a pretty good game plan, pretty straightforward for this body type. The basic blueprint to take advantage of these physical attributes. And then obviously, like, I believe jiu-jitsu is an art. So this is the best if your goal is A to B, get good, tap people, start winning. If that's not your goal, then you're obviously free to do whatever you want, come up with other things. One more thing I wanted to mention, I'm sure I mentioned this before, probably in this little series, but like once you get to that like solid 7 or 8 level on everything, and then you find your area, use your attributes, use your body type, or maybe not even something that appeals to the body type specifically, but find an area you love. Like as I mentioned, I love the Berimbolo area. So find an area to take to that 10 or even 11, like become super world class, top of the top in the world for certain positions. And then you stay safe everywhere else because you're solid, and then you drag people into where you're good at. Drag them into the deep water and then drown them where you have more knowledge. And that's like my game plan. Like I stay safe, I'm super safe roll, I don't take many risks, but then as soon as you slow down and give me a chance to get started, I'm gonna pull you into the Berimbolo world, and most people don't know what they're doing in there. So it's a huge advantage, and I think it's a big key to becoming like a world-class athlete. I think that's a big piece of the puzzle right there. But yeah, with that, let me know what you think. If you agree, disagree with anything, or think I left something out, or have another thought on something that you could bring to my attention. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the rest of the series. I think up next, I'm either going to do like the really small people, very small people, or maybe the long and lanky type of people. I'm not sure yet. It'll be one of those two, though.